Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Ms. O'Connell, a nitrile glove manufacturer in my district is aiming to create the first domestic facility to create both the base nitrile glove ingredients and production of the final nitrile glove. Their initial application was just for glove production, but it's my understanding from them that HHS and DOD encouraged them to expand their production capabilities to do both the final production of gloves and base ingredients for the glove manufacture, which they did. However, HHS only provided a grant for a period of the expanded capabilities cost and has not provided additional assistance to help with the completion of the dual project, which is necessary for them in order to begin production. Does HHS not view it as their responsibility to see this project fully through?
Thank you, Mr. Griffith. And the investments in glove manufacturing were extraordinarily challenging. The grant that you mentioned was made by the first Trump administration, and they did it in accordance with an assisted acquisitions relationship they had with DOD. So DOD competed and then managed that contract. They set it up as a firm fixed price contract, which means as there were cost overruns in the development of the manufacturing site, no additional money could be added to that contract. DOD decided at the completion of the contract that it was done and complete. And if we were going to add additional money, we would have to recompete an entirely new contract. And I think everybody's aware of this, I've come to Congress many times to talk about the funding that was needed in order to make those additional investments. At this point, the office that's managing our supply chain has $10 million identified in the next budget. That's not enough to be able to bring that glove manufacturing on board.
So you'll work with me to figure out ways that we can get that plant finished, because I got this beautiful facility that's not finished, and therefore no jobs and no real asset for the community. All right, thank you. I truly believe that having a real Buy American policy for government agencies on masks, gowns, and other PPE will stimulate American manufacturing and decrease the likelihood of shortages if we have another situation similar to COVID. Does any witness disagree with me on that? Raise your hand if you disagree. I'll give you a minute. All right, I didn't think you would, and I do appreciate that. Again, Ms. O'Connell, as we've heard today, the U.S. is incredibly too reliant for active pharmaceutical ingredients from foreign countries, specifically China and India. This is a serious national security threat. One solution is from a company in the Richmond area named Flow, P-H-L-O-W, who is in partnership with the federal government to bring the U.S. to a competitive advantage with foreign countries to produce fully domestic essential medicines. What other incentives and policies can be implemented to not only support these efforts, but also encourage other companies to follow suit?
Thank you, Congressman. So the Flow contract is one that we spent a lot of time with, and we're very pleased with the outcome of what they've been able to do. I think that's a perfect example of some of the ways we need to work moving forward. Bringing the incentives there to Richmond was critical, and the proposal to have some sort of stockpile of those active pharmaceutical ingredients, I think, is something that the U.S. government should pursue moving forward.
I appreciate that. We'll switch gears a little bit on you. Has HHS considered starting a pilot program where they would ship close to expiring PPE, et cetera, in the strategic national stockpile to rural hospitals, so instead of throwing them away, we can actually get some benefit out of it?
Well, we looked at that, and I think that's absolutely right. We're trying to encourage the SNS to think in innovative ways. Some of what we found was not everybody was interested in just about to be expired PPE. They wanted new PPE, but we continued to push on that. Of course, I'm not in a position to make those decisions now, but would encourage my former colleagues to consider it.
I appreciate that greatly. Mr. Cashman, it's great to see you again. While your operation is technically in Ms. Harshbarger's district, I would suspect that at least 40% of your employees are probably living in my district, since you're so close to the line that you could probably walk from your facility to my district without any great difficulty. At the meeting that we had previously, you mentioned how HHS awarded a company a contract that might not have been a fully domestic manufacturer. Can you explain that briefly, because my time is about up?
Congressman Griffith, effectively, yes, you could walk from our plant to Virginia. Yes, regarding that contract, yes, the best of our knowledge, We understand that that company imported API, active pharmaceutical ingredient, from China, and we don't know where it was manufactured, but it was effectively the only company that was awarded a contract for the SNS.
And you don't do that, is that correct? You don't import your API from China?
No, sir, we import our API from Europe. Thank you.
All right. I appreciate it. My time's up. I must yield back.